footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, sitting next to the man, Tyler Merkovich, and this is version 4 of our 2010 NFL mock draft. This is picks 1 through 16. Check video 2 for picks 17 through 32. Version 5 will be out in a couple of weeks. It's going to, we've been doing these all spring, all off season. This is fun. Mock drafts are fun, so let's just jump right into it. On the clock, St. Louis Rams. Tyler, we have those guys taken.
Well, the Rams need to spread the wealth. They've gone Adam Carricker, Chris Long, a couple defensive linemen. Then they took Jason Smith out of Baylor. So they're going to have to go quarterback here. If they don't want to go stopgap and pick one of these guys up like Michael Vick, I think they take Sam Bradford. It's a good fit. Oklahoma to St. Louis. He's going to put on some more weight, and he's probably the best passer in the draft class.
Especially coming up from an outstanding pro day workout where he looked flawless. But again, nobody was rushing him, but still, he looked flawless in his workout throwing the football. 2, Detroit. Who you have those guys taking?
It's got to be Ndamukong Suh. Schwartz is going to keep building this defense. Remember who he had in Tennessee? Albert Hainsworth. And Ndamukong Suh, Vanden Bosch is now on the outside, so the lines are looking good, especially if they get one of these two defensive tackles in Suh or McCoy. And I think if it was up in the air, they're going to take Suh. All
right, and you look at Tampa, 3rd. They got to be cheesing right now because they get one of those prize players. Whom do you have? Let me guess. Not a punter.
Yeah, they get what they want, and that's the defensive lineman. They're going to take Gerald McCoy. I know Eric Berry would be a good fit there, but the defense needs to be built on that defensive line first. Both sides of the ball, offensive line, defensive line, build your team from the inside out, and that defensive line needs big players such as Gerald McCoy with a lot of upside.
Yeah, he's going to play for at least 10 to 15 years in Tampa. 4, the Washington Redskins on the clock. We have the Washington Redskins selected.
Well, I think it's going to be Russell Okung. I know he didn't look like the best, like Bruce Campbell and some of these other guys, how good they look, but I think he'll be a good fit in Washington, and that's what they need. I think Shanahan could stick with Campbell, and Campbell could be pretty productive. Maybe draft a quarterback a little later, but if they stay in this spot, take a Russell Okung. You can't go wrong investing in an offensive lineman.
Yeah, you have to build that O-line. Campbell just got sacked again while we're doing this mock draft. So 5th on the clock, Kansas City. Where are they going?
Kansas City, I think right here is the spot for Eric Berry. I think you put him there to go along with a couple good cornerbacks, including Brandon Flowers, and start building that defense. It's going to be a young defense, but down the line, it has some promise.
Right, that'll be a good pick to help show up the secondary. You look at Brandon Carr and Brandon Flowers. You tack on Berry. It's a good secondary right now, and they'll be able to shut down a lot. And especially playing San Diego and Denver twice a year.
Exactly.
6th pick, Seattle. First of 2 picks they have in the first round. Where are they going?
Well, Pete Carroll loves flash. And I don't know, they might try to give this pick up for Brandon Marshall, but if everything stands pat, I think they make a splash with a big pick here. CJ Spiller. Forset's a little smaller. Julius Jones is not having the best days of his career, and he can make a big splash with CJ Spiller. I don't know why everyone's talking about this guy falling out of the top 10. He's a top 10 player. Pete Carroll would like it, so I think CJ Spiller could go to the Seahawks if everything maintains.
And you look at somebody like CJ Spiller going to Seattle, you know Pete Carroll's going to get the most out of every player he had. That's a good pick for Seattle.
Right.
First of the pick in the first round. Cleveland, 7th on the clock. Who you have those guys taking?
Well, Cleveland, I thought they could go a lot of directions. Wide receiver, cornerback, but look at last year. They drafted a couple of wide receivers in Massaquoi and Robisky, and a young player, Eric Wright, still have his prime years ahead of him. So I don't think they could go defensive back, and they traded a couple of their quarterbacks. So I think Jimmy Clausen could be the pick here. Another Notre Dame quarterback going here. I think Mike Holmgren could put him as the quarterback 2B because they got Delhomme and Seneca Wallace, pretty good stopgaps, but Clausen down the line could be good for the dog pound.
That'll be interesting to bring in another rookie quarterback to compete along the veteran Delhomme and Seneca Wallace, who is mobile. 8, Oakland on the clock. Who you have Oakland selected?
Well, Oakland, rumors are, will they get Donovan McNabb? They are the front runner. Even if they don't get McNabb, they need to work on this offensive line, and I think they could go Trent Williams here, an underrated tackle out of Oklahoma. He protected Bradford well, and he played with some great players, but I think in a couple years he could be a stud guy too.
Well, you look at Oakland, you look at Cornell Green, you look at Mario Henderson, they did a terrible job of blocking both bookends, so they do need help on the offensive line. Trent Williams would be a good pick. 9th, Buffalo, the Bills, Western New York. Where are they going?
Well, they could go a lot of directions too. Of course, they lose Terrell Owens, but I think they really need to fix that offensive line. Brian Bulaga, Iowa, good fit. Iowa linemen are great. He had a great combine. He looked good. Nothing flashy about his game, but he gets it done. If he moves to the right tackle position, that could be key. But I think he's versatile enough. A couple years down the line, be a pretty good left tackle too. So some versatility in his game. I think Buffalo needs to go there. I know they're going through the 3-4, but really build that offensive line.
Okay, they do need offensive line help with the recent retirement of Brad Butler. 26 years old, retired from the offensive line of the Buffalo Bills. 10th, Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. You know they need some defensive help. Where do you think they're going?
I think they go Derek Morgan, Georgia Tech. They've missed on a couple picks with Derek Harvey and a couple other defensive players, but those players still have some promise, but they need a splash here, and I think Derek Morgan's one of the top defensive ends. I think this guy could play a little bull rush on the inside too, so his versatility is key.
And he can also play outside linebacker defense. He's really athletic, a sneaky athletic player. This will be a good pick for Jacksonville. You look at the 11th on the clock, the Denver Broncos. Where you think Josh McDaniels is going to have those guys?
Well, this is going to be interesting. I'm assuming they're going to have Marshall. Look out for Dez Bryant here if he goes. I think that would be a better fit if Dez Bryant goes there and Marshall leaves. But if they stand pat, offensive lineman Anthony Davis out of Rutgers, give another right tackle right next to Clady. This guy's versatile. I think Denver can get back to those running days where they ran the ball real well with Noshawn Moreno.
Right, Noshawn Moreno needs that help up front. You know, he only had 800+ yards last season. Lacked explosiveness, but that offensive line could have been a problem. To get that tackle, that's going to help out a lot.
He'd be happy with another Jersey guy up front for him.
Exactly. You know, Jersey guys can't play football, especially offensive linemen. You look at number 12, Miami Dolphins. Where you have those guys going?
Well, Earl Thomas. I really believe that, you know, I know Taylor Macy's a big physical safety, but I think he's falling a little bit because I don't like his coverage skills. And Earl Thomas, he could play corner, he could play safety with Jeremiah Bell, and that would be a great pick for Bill Parcells, who already picked up Carlos Dansby, so help out in that secondary. That secondary would look great with Thomas and Bell in the back, and Vontae Davis is one of the corners. So I think with his rangy skills, he could be one of the top safeties taken.
And you also forgot about Sean Smith, another outstanding playmaker in that secondary. That would be a great pick for Miami. San Francisco, 13th selection. Where are they going?
Well, I think they could go Joe Hayden here. I know they have Clements, but Terrell Brown struggled a little bit. They could go Joe Hayden here, help out at the cornerback position, and they have a couple other picks. So they have another pick in the first round, so this could vary, but I think Joe Hayden's good value at this pick.
That would be an outstanding pick for Frisco. They could really address a need at cornerback spot with Hayden, talented playmaker, more quick than fast, but can make a lot of plays on the ball. 14th, Seattle is back on the clock. Where you have the gambler, Pete Carroll, going?
Well, a big splash in this draft. I think I have them taking Spiller first and Dez Bryant now. They don't get Marshall. Dez Bryant to Seattle. If he gets Spiller and Bryant, that would be key. You know they're looking at a receiver to go along with Hushmanzada because all the other receivers are getting old, and Nate Burleson signed with the Lions. So I think Carroll can make a big splash in this draft with those two guys.
Well, that's intriguing because you look at C.J. Spiller, explosive. You look at Bryant, explosive, to team up with Hushmanzada and Carlson, the outstanding tight end for Seattle. Now they have to really build that offensive line up. And this draft is deep where you can get a lot of good offensive linemen.
Exactly.
Second round, third round, but intriguing. That's an intriguing pick. You know, 15th, Giants, New York Giants. Where are they going?
Well, I think it will fall perfect for them if Rolando McClain is there, inside linebacker, replace Antonio Pierce. I know they got a couple other linebackers that are young, in Keel and Goff, and the other guys. But I think that would be a perfect fit for the Giants. They could go defense here. They could go offensive line. But if McClain is there, definitely snag him.
And McClain is a guy that's a tremendous leader and can play both inside and outside back in the pinch.
That's what they're missing with Pierce. You know, he's over the hill and he's out.
Yep, and he provides that leadership that does McClain. 16th pick, Tennessee Titans. Where do you think they're going?
Tennessee Titans, I think they need an outside linebacker. They could go Sergio Kindle here. He's got a motor. Send him out on the edge. You know the Titans like to play defense. Keith Bullock, questionable. He's getting a little older. He's on the inside. But that core needs to be shored up. And I think you could do that with Sergio Kindle.
Kindle gets to the quarterback in a hurry. So that's a good pick for Tennessee.